Hey, this is me building a $3 million a year business in public. The way these videos always go is I start with some Q&A, then I round it out with some growth stats, and finally I do some live strategy. This is my main channel here at 119K subs. This is my daily updates channel. I just scroll all the way down to the bottom and start answering. So I actually started with Levinto, realized my OBS was off. Let me restate his question. Hey Nick, I'm interested in the topic of selling project management systems for marketing creative agencies. I've been looking around YouTube for a while. I haven't found any clear templates or mindsets on YouTube yet about how to set up a system like this, and I'm struggling to understand what a project management automation system looks like since I have no experience in project management. I know this is a long shot, but can you tell me what info I need to ask the prospect of the meeting and explain how you typically build out or scope the system so that I'm clear on what I'm dealing with and the prospect is clear in terms of what they want? Yeah, so this is a great question. To dog food a little bit, which just means to pitch you on my own service, I do have templates for project management systems inside of Maker School. They're spread out throughout month 2, month 3. I also have some resources between month 4 and month 5. So if you did want to just jumpstart everything and just have templates that work out of the box, definitely check out Maker School. Do a lot of project management. Obviously, it was a big part of my first business, which is ClickUp, where I built project management systems like this alongside my partner. That was one of the reasons why we were able to grow and scale with such a lean team. Anywho, in general, there are 2 types of project management systems nowadays. There is a stage-based system, and then there's a subtask-based system. So let me break down how these work in just a second. Basically, there's stage-based or subtask-based. Stage-based systems are for situations where projects flow linearly through a queue. So let me give you an example from my actual business here. Projects start at the very top here and then work their way down to the very bottom. So essentially, they start at some sort of awaiting assignment or assign stage. Then, because they're articles, we will add them to a writing stage. Then after that, they'll move to an editing stage. Then they'll move to a ready for submission stage, and then they'll move to submitted. So let me just break these all down for you. In our case, for writing, we start with assigned, then we go writing, then we go editing, then go ready for submission, and then finally we have the submitted stage. In a nutshell, these are the stages that matter. I know I had a few more stages over there, but those are just tertiary stages for various little management things that don't ultimately apply to the stages that a project will flow through. Okay, so you can rename these to whatever the heck you want. I mean, like assigned could also just be like queue. Writing could be, I don't know, scoping. Editing could be, I don't know, building. Ready for submission could be QA, and then submitted could be delivered, right? Like these don't have to be the exact same words that I'm putting down here, but they tend to represent similar ideas. You have some sort of queue, which is flexible, that allows the person that you are assigning the project to like manage their life and their day. You have some initial kind of rough draft thing. Then you have the actual thing itself. Then you usually have some sort of Q&A, and that's what our ready for submission stage is. And then ultimately you have some sort of stage that represents, hey, the task has now been delivered. Okay, so these are stage-based. These work really well for typically high-volume applications where you have a lot of projects going through a queue. You have a big team, you need to be able to assign these things, and the projects themselves are relatively simple in nature. That is in direct contrast to what I'm calling subtask-based systems. Okay, now subtask-based systems look and work a little bit differently. So subtask-based systems are for situations where scopes are complex and projects can have multiple dependencies. Let's say non-linear dependencies. What non-linear dependencies means in this case is it just doesn't always flow directly top to bottom through a queue. So let me show you an example with these. You'll see that there are multiple stages here: writing, editing, client delivery, for instance. This is a simplified example that I just wanted to show you guys that I'm using in this pipeline. But usually you kind of just use one or the other. If I go over to this project management system, which I've built, unfortunately, this one doesn't work. One sec. Let's do one more. I go to this project management system, which we are going to, let's do template creative agency. Okay, and what you'll see is in a system like this, which is like mailbox setup, instead of us just having a simple stage for each of the steps responsible for this task, launch instantly campaign, what we've done is we've broken all of these down into subtasks instead. And these are very similar conceptually to the statuses or stages that we had before, except now, because they're subtasks, we can actually have people work on them simultaneously without actually needing to materially affect the stage that they're in. And then the stages themselves just turn into to do, working, or complete, or maybe like blocker or something. Okay, so quick example here, launch instantly campaign. Well, there are a bunch of steps that are involved here, but you don't have to do all the steps one after the other. You have to do some of these steps one after the other. Some of these have dependencies, but not all of them. For instance, you start by connecting domains to your workspace. Then you connect mailboxes to instantly. Then you warm up and configure mailboxes, complete SPF and DMARC. Then you write the campaigns. Well, you could actually start writing the campaigns before you connect the domains to the workspace, right? So you could assign this to person A, and then you could assign this to person B, and you could actually have both of these tasks done simultaneously. Now, in our case, we've also added time estimates, due dates. There's some other information here as well, but you can add whatever fields you want in any sort of project management-based system, okay? So subtask-based systems tend to be much better for harder to scope, more variable things where you need to be able to jump in and just add an additional subtask for a system. You can imagine how that works really well, or much better for automation systems than stage-based sort of project management. Because in reality, if you're doing custom automations, the specific steps that you are going to have your team or yourself do are always going to depend on the scope. And the scope is usually going to be a little bit different from project to project, right? And because of the non-linear dependency thing, you can actually start working on projects or multiple different parts of projects simultaneously without necessarily having to wait for everything. So that's more or less it. In terms of how to automate this, you basically just attach stage changes or subtask completions to webhooks that are sent to make.com, which then trigger some sort of thing to occur in your workspace or maybe your Slack or your email. Okay, Spencer says, hey, Nick, I'm just getting an automation, exploring different niches. Want to create a discovery-style presentation, a line of questions, help me understand a business owner's operations in depth, especially so I can uncover repetitive tasks and systems that could be automated. I'm approaching it like I know nothing about their niche, so I'm trying to build a comprehensive list of questions that covers every step of the journey from acquisition to fulfillment. Any advice on how to think about formulating those questions to extract the most useful info? What are the top 3 questions you'd ask a business owner to surface tasks or processes that could potentially be automated? The first one is where are you getting your leads from? That's big. The second is walk me through the first point of contact from a customer, with a customer, to the last point of contact. And then the third is probably to tell me a little bit about what fulfillment looks like. So when they tell you about what fulfillment looks like, they may say, well, I have a contracting team that I send the project to. I'd then ask follow-up questions and I'd be very specific. Okay, well, how do you send the projects? Where is this contracting team located? Do they work on your same time zone? What sorts of roles do these people have? How is the project started? How's the project finished? What sort of communication do you have? Same thing with the step of the customer journey, and then also same thing with the lead gen stuff. So just, be hyper specific with these. I wouldn't interrogate the customer, to be clear. I'd ask them some light questions, and if you want to do top 3, I think that's a pretty good way of going about it. Just ask those 3 along with some follow-ups, but definitely have some back and forth here. Explain what you think about things while you're answering, and so on and so forth. Don't just interrogate them. Okay. Tech Jazz says, Nick for president, thank you very much. Also says, Nick, what advice would you give to your 15-year-old self? The big piece of advice I would give to my 15-year-old self is to stop being so worried about what other people think about you. If I had learned that much earlier, it took me quite a while to learn. I think I have learned that lesson now, but if I'd learned that much earlier, rather than maybe in my mid-20s, it'd probably be much further ahead than I am now. Now, obviously, you can't just tell somebody to stop caring what people think about you. That doesn't really do shit. But I would definitely try and give that advice to my 15-year-old self. Sinatra says, Nick, need that Nick GPT for sure. Thank you very much. We will see how that Nick GPT ends up becoming. I'm not a rapper, clearly. We'll keep you all posted on that. Kusei says, hey, Nick, thank you so much for your responses to my questions. In regards to your main channel, I actually kind of got an idea that you've already applied, but could be slightly modified more. Maybe it could spark another idea. In other industries like game development, devs sometimes tend to create a YouTube channel dedicated to their project, with the community pros types of problems or creations to add and resolve in the game itself. For example, a fan could make a fan art of a new monster in the game. The developer would make a devlog video not only adding the suggested monster, but also showing the process of how it's done. Obviously, players can join and play updates of the game that now includes it, which in equivalent to your channel will be tackling a complete automation problem with a specific niche voted by the community. You can even expand it beyond automations too, simulating a real scenario running a business in a devlog format rather than answering questions through whiteboard explanations. The key is community-driven content. I agree. I live in Tunisia. It's pretty much a country where all online payment services are banned, and the only business you can operate as an entrepreneur is in some local market. You can't buy anything online. Even resources like purchasing software, subs, or even a game on Steam are impossible here without the help of a trusted person who lives overseas, or acquiring a special credit card that's very limited and very hard to get. I'm blessed to be able to find workarounds to operate my game development projects and get paid with my local currency, but I can't really buy anything online. So if I got to continue this endeavor, I need to get out of here ASAP. Anyway, keep cooking the good content, man. Cheers. You know what? That's really unfortunate. Sounds like you know what you need to do in order to get to where you want to get. Not going to be easy for sure to leave that behind, but best of luck either way. This sounds really cool. Yeah, I think what would be cooler than me dealing with these hypothetical scenarios, just to be clear, is me actually like, getting real customers online. I do understand that idea of community-driven stuff. So maybe we could add some sort of like more interactive component to it. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that would be time scalable. I was actually considering like inviting somebody on board for like 15 minutes and just doing my daily updates at like specific times every day, and then just like inviting somebody onto a Google Meet and just chatting with them through questions and answers and stuff. That might be a pretty cool way to get some more one-on-one time. But I also am kind of worried that, a lot of the people that watch my channel here are like very beginner. And so they're probably like going to be really nervous getting a call. It's probably not really going to be good content there. I don't know. Maybe it will be. I don't know. But also, I don't really like introducing a thing where I have to be here at a specific time. Like one of the reasons I really like daily updates is I can record them whenever. Like right now it's 9:40. But I'll think about it. Thank you, man. Freak Stifler says, how does the wait node interact with the webhook and the Upwork scraper template? Are there best practice for configuring both the wait node and the webhook to avoid delays or missed updates? Is there a better or easier way? What the heck are you talking about, Freak Stifler? Okay, let me check out Maker School. And let us grab that template. And let's see what exactly he's referring to. Maker School Resource Library. So it must be a make scenario, right? Saying wait, the wait node? No, it must be the Upwork one. Let me download this. Go over here. Let's import from file. Let's paste this in. Okay, so it's been a while. Give me a moment here. We schedule this. We scrape Upwork jobs via Appify using this Appify actor. Then we wait, get dataset items. From there, we get jobs. We merge these two. This is a simplified way to see the difference between these. And what we're doing with the merge, I take it, is we're combining by matching fields, and we're keeping only non-matches, right? So in case you are unaware, this is a simple design pattern, which I started using, I don't know, a couple months after I got into N8N, that just eliminates anything that is not shared between these two. And so this is going to be your data set pulled from Airtable or some other source. You could also use Sheets, whereas this is the data pulled from Upwork. The idea is you just always have a running log of all of the jobs that you've scraped. Set vars 1. Okay, I get it. We're just doing some budget mapping here. And then let's see, what was the specific question here? Wait node interact with the webhook? I'm not seeing a webhook here, so I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. Yeah, not entirely sure what we're seeing here, to be honest. The wait node interacts with the webhook. I mean, you're probably confusing this with HTTP requests, I take it. The wait node just just waits a little bit of time, okay? That's all. So, oh, hold on a second. I see what you're asking for. The webhook URL is generated at runtime. It resumes on webhook call. So we have a webhook that comes in, I suppose. Interesting. I'm not entirely sure. It's been a while since I've developed this. I know that Santi has since recorded a video where he discusses.
Hey guys, what is going on? Another N8N build is minus. Getting.
Let me just go back here.
Here.
One sec.
We just need to detail this thing right here is very important, like the feed proposals.
I imagine there's probably a callback or something. I think there's a callback here. Yeah, I believe there's a callback from the Appify actor that then calls the webhook and then resumes the scenario so that we only move forward with the get dataset items after the scrape Upwork jobs is completed. So what you can do is you can define a callback URL. Callback URL is just a URL that you specify in Appify that says, hey, when I'm done with this, I want you to call another webhook. What we're doing is we're feeding in this webhook here, which is always the same webhook. Santi, in this case, just used n8n.pulpsense, that's the name of his company.com/webhook, okay, in the video that he recorded. This is fed into Appify. Appify then finishes this, calls that webhook. Sometimes this is variable, which is why we're doing this as opposed to waiting a fixed amount of time. And then only after we've done this do we get the dataset items. Now, I should note that you don't actually need to do this design pattern anymore. There's a new Appify API endpoint, which actually allows you to run the actor synchronously and get dataset items. So you could just use this instead. And instead of you having to go through this like double, triple step here, you would only do it in one. So that's probably what I would use moving forward, but yeah. And Apollo doesn't allow more than 100 free credits per month now compared to 10K previous year. Navigating the situation to script Apollo leads with Appify still or using an old account which still allows to script 10K per month. I was trying to skip emails with Appify Apollo Scraper, and after 100 emails, I was getting an error. I'm not entirely sure about this, to be honest. I haven't made a new Apollo account. I will do this just because you're not the first person to bring this up in the last 24 hours. So let me just make a note of it and then I'll get back, okay? Let's create Apollo account and verify the scraping cap. I appreciate that, but yeah, I'm obviously using grandfathered accounts and stuff like that, which is why I haven't necessarily dealt with this in my own day-to-day. Okay, guys, 15 minutes in, I'm now going to do the brand stats, everybody's favorite part. It's probably everybody's least favorite part, to be honest. What I do here is I grab the previous day, and then all I do is I just add my current stats. So my main channel is at 119,532 now. My Instagram channel, if I go to this blast up tab, doesn't seem to be working. Let's just go to my Instagram. It's late enough. I turned this off at like 9 p.m. or something. Is showing 184,117. So 184,117 here. And then my daily updates channel just hit 6,000. It's pretty cool. And 34. Nice. Okay. So what am I seeing here? 0.88% growth on my main, despite the fact that I'm not doing daily posting anymore. These last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days have been great. 0.97% growth on Instagram. We're going to hit 200K pretty soon. That's going to be chunky. And then 0.72% growth on my daily updates. Not the most impressive, but also not the worst. Are we seeing any outliers here? No, not really. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. I like looking at the percentage metrics. I'm really glad I added that to this graph. We are rounding out the month of May, though, which is pretty neat. Let's just check out the Maker School stats. I think my churn has gone up. Yeah, 18.17%. We are at 290K MRR now, which is cool. Conversion rate is dropping. That's unfortunate. I don't know if this is because I've stopped posting daily or because of the new video that I've added. We've replaced the VSL. It doesn't look like it's performing as well, but it could be an issue. Just while I'm at it, I had somebody tell me that I need to replace 400 to 500. We should also do one more event now. Yeah. All right, I'll fix that after. Update, make money with Make. Just going to click agency hot seat. That's a new event that I'm doing inside of Make Money with Make. Should probably also increase the price to do the churn stats a little bit better. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's nice. And then just want to double check. Am I still crushing the school games? Somebody is now beating me in growth. This is the first time this has happened. Max Perzon is now growing faster in the last 7 days than I am. Wonderful work, man. Great work. Really cool, really cool. Haven't seen this yet, so I'm going to have to double check what it is exactly that he's doing. Maybe keep my eye on that. The MRR growth is still pretty explosive. We should be able to hit $300,000 or more. Obviously, we have slowed down the growth significantly. Like if I model this over time, it was like this, posting daily, stop posting daily. And now we're kind of like right over here. I bet you if I don't post daily, I'll probably cap out like right over here or something, and then it'll probably start going down. I am going to be starting to post again. That's the main thing that I just wanted to chat about briefly with you guys. Done a lot of thinking, and I'm just not going to, hello, those are totally not my boxers on that lampshade. I've done a lot of thinking, and what I've decided to do is I'm not going to be posting daily. I'm probably going to post every 4 to 8 hours instead. So I'm obviously still in Vancouver here. I haven't settled into the new place that I'm going to be moving into, but when I do, I'm going to set up my studio, and then when I get back to consistent daily recording, then I'm just not going to post that damn video every day. We're going to go bi-daily. We're going to go once every 2 days for a sprint, and we're going to see how that goes with the stats. We're going to line that up with our old stats, see if we see the same sort of drop off. Maybe I'll do it for like 14 days or something, so 7 videos in total. And then if the stats are similar and I'm seeing a deterioration, then I'll take a pause, and then I'll come back and I'll just do the pause and return strategy. And then if not, I'll just keep on going once every 2 days instead, while also building up a big backlog of posts so that I can continue to do things when I go traveling or whatever. Because right now I'm finding it a little bit annoying not to have like flexibility in my schedule to continue posting at a cadence that I like, even when I'm not necessarily around. So yeah, I think this is something that's much needed. Anywho, that's where I'm at with the content strategy side of things. Left click side of things, I'm now scaling up the agency definitively because I want to get a bunch of content that I could do like watch me start and sell stuff. So while I haven't dove in with both feet, Into the actual lead gen side of things, I did start reactivating a bunch of my old contracts, which is cool. Getting a little bit of help with that, which is nice. So yeah, I'll see where I land on the reactivation side of things. I've gotten probably over $1 million worth of potential business in pipeline just sitting there that I haven't really taken advantage of. So I'm going to definitely start taking advantage of that a little bit more. And the cool thing is it should give me basically like an infinite content funnel for just like I was doing initially when I scaled up my channel, you know, where I would just be like, hey, today I'm doing a build for this client that does X, Y, and Z. And then I actually showed you guys live. Just like I was doing back then, I should also get a lot more like serendipity in the content, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah, the lead gen stuff is going to be the greatest. Like, I'm still really stoked on that Upwork gig. I just got somebody send me a message being like, dude, I'm about to land a $10,000 a month retainer using the same method that you were talking about on your YouTube for free back in mid-2024. Your shit works. It's crazy. I can't wait to take that approach and just do it myself. Like, I haven't sent consistent daily Upwork applications for a very long time. And when I was doing that consistently every single day, oh man, it's so much momentum. I was so great at articulating and talking about the service that I was doing. Can't wait to get back to that. It's gonna be really fun. Anyway, yeah, that's me. Hopefully you guys appreciate this video. If you guys like stuff like this, you guys want to get some more one-on-one time with me, I do live coaching and Q&A group style in Maker School. I also do 2 calls a week in Make Money with Make that you guys can jump in there too if you want. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Cheers.